Hey everyone, welcome back to my house. Today I'll be reviewing Spider-Man Homecoming. We finally made it to the Tom movies after this long journey, and yeah, good movies with, the best Spider-Man. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing good. Brand new day is less than a week from now. I'm really hyped. And yeah, trying to keep these videos shorter, so let's just jump straight into the review. Alright, overall, I think this is a pretty fun movie. That's like my main takeaway from this movie. I don't really have that many thoughts on this movie actually. Most of the stuff I have is really positive. But yeah, I think the main takeaway of this movie is that it's a fun movie and that there's not a lot of stakes in this movie. I don't mean stakes as in actual like villains and like the world's about to get destroyed. Sure, partly, but I just mean character arcs as well. And one of the main things I noticed was, especially with Aunt May, like I feel like in both the Toby and Andrew movies, we could see Aunt May struggling to pay the mortgage and stuff like that, and like being broke and stuff like that. But that's not even a factor at all in the Tom movies, so that kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. But like I said, kind of with the Andrew movies, this is an adaptation, so it doesn't bother me too much. But I still feel like that's an essential part of Aunt May's character, and just even with Peter, like he doesn't go through anything too crazy in this movie. The highest stakes is yeah, they could rob some stuff, some people could get hurt, and his homecoming situation dilemma. But there's not much of stakes compared to like Andrew, like the police hating him and all this other stuff going on with Gwen and the father, and then Toby, obviously, which makes sense because those are origin movies. But yeah, I guess I can't hate on it too much because it's still a really fun and enjoyable movie. And I think that's the main good thing about this movie. That was kind of like a semi positive and negative, but going to another positive, I really like seeing Peter not popular at school, especially after the Andrew movies when we see him skateboarding in class and stuff like that. And, just being cool. He doesn't really get bullied compared to Peter, who's really teased and bullied a lot. And we actually get to see him be like a nerd too, which I feel like we didn't see a lot in the Andrew movies, of course. And we've seen a good amount of that in the Toby movies. But my main positive, other than it being a fun and enjoyable movie overall, is we actually get a very good Spider-Man suit and a Spider-Man that actually quips and is actually funny. Like, we really do get the best of both worlds with Tom Spider-Man. We get the great nerdy side of Peter Parker, and we still get a great Spider-Man who actually, quips, unlike Tobey Spider-Man, who is aka the worst Spider-Man. So, Tobey Glazer's just arguing with a wall at that point. But yeah, that really does help the movie overall. And it's just a really fun movie. Overall, I wouldn't say it's like the most rewatchable, maybe to some extent, sure, but yeah, I think it's just a fun, enjoyable movie, and just having a good Spider-Man with that also helps. I do think there are some high moments. 'Cause for most of the movie, I had it at a lower rating, maybe like a 7.5-ish. Some moments that helped elevate that rating was definitely the Tony talk after the ferry. That was a really good moment, seeing how much Tony cared for Peter and was worried for him, and also just Peter learning that responsibility after the entire movie. And I think that's one of the also a little side segue is that Peter's responsibility is just a really good arc throughout this entire movie. Him learning to be Spider-Man and balancing that with being Peter Parker. Like he was literally trying to show up as Spider-Man at a party just to make himself look cool, but just balancing that immaturity and responsibility was just great to see throughout this entire movie. I think that really is the whole point of this movie. It's nothing too crazy, kind of like Tarzan 1, the lizard, kind of just a random villain. And we have the same thing here with the Vulture. He's not anything too serious, no crazy big threat to the city at all, compared to what they do next movie, but that's a whole different story. The other high moment is definitely the ending, which we get the whole closing thing with the responsibility and the rebel scene, which is a really good scene and basically mirrors that comic panel. It's just really good and helped add way more depth to the movie for me. Like without those moments, I think it just would have been a fun, cool movie, nothing crazy. Kind of like Spider-Man 1, it just doesn't have that, it just need that little extra push. And I think those two moments and the whole responsibility theme of the entire movie really helped push it for me. So yeah, overall, I didn't really have any other complaints. Like side characters were cool, like Ned and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just overall fun movie. And yeah, keeping this short so I could get through all these other movies. But my overall rating for this movie is an 8 out of 10. This is like a low 8, maybe like a 7.8. So nothing too crazy, but I think it's still fun. And it's a Spider-Man movie. I'm gonna enjoy it regardless. Like there's only so low I could go on a Spider-Man movie. But yeah, with that, let's do my ranking because I almost forgot about it last time. Obviously it's not a worst place. It's definitely better than Spider-Man 3. Like, come on. Not even a question. And honestly, I think it's better than Spider-Man, the original one from Toby. I still feel like they're still around in the same ballpark. Like, I wouldn't be mad if someone put Toby's Spider-Man over it. But I do think those moments like the Rebel scene and the Tony talk add more highs compared to Toby, because all you have with Toby is Green Goblin being fantastic, which honestly, if you want to put that above it just for Green Goblin, sure. The great responsibility speech. But other than that, I think Homecoming has better stuff overall. And, better Spider-Man, better Spider-Man suit. Of course, I'm going to put it over Toby's one. And yeah, I don't think it beats Amazing Spider-Man 2, because it just, even though they're like around the same rating, like I said, it's around close to 3.8. I think TASM just has way more highs than Spider-Man Homecoming. And enjoyability, they're probably around the same, but TASM has some really great highs. So yeah, number 4, which isn't bad at all, but it's probably going to move down a bit as I get to the other ones. Yeah, shorter video. Not much I could complain about this movie, so nothing too much. I know this is kind of hated by some people, especially Toby fans. Don't really understand why. I guess the whole Iron Boy Jr. thing, even though the entire point of his movie was to be responsible, and he denied being, he really rejected being an adventure at the end. So I'm not going to really argue about that. Just not much else I can say. I guess just rewatch the movie. I don't see how you could possibly think that at all. But yeah, keeping it short. I hope you guys had a good one, and I'll see you guys on the next one with Far From Home.